Hello there. In this quick short video I'm going to show you how you can make your own coasters using Fluid Designer Voronoi patterns. So you can download Fluid Designer for free and then you can purchase our Voronoi patterns, and if you just drag and drop that object onto the workspace, what we notice if we look at the size of it, it's only 51 millimeters across. If this is going to be a coaster, you need to scale it up. So it's S on the keyboard, 2 on the keyboard and enter. And always do Control A and apply the scale in Fluid Designer. Now what we can do is we can change the thickness of this object. I could make it 4 millimeters deep, but if this is going to be a coaster, I want to actually make it something like 2 millimeters thick and 4 millimeters deep, and that's it. That's the first one. And what we need to do then is to just export that as a wavefront object. I'm going to export it to the desktop as coaster 1. Okay, so now we can create another coaster with a different design. So just drag and drop the object onto the workspace, S on the keyboard and 2 to scale it up, and do Control A and apply the scale. And we're going to set the thickness again. It's going to be 2 by 4. So there's our 3D printable object. So it's a case of File, Export it as a wavefront object, and this one's going to be coaster 2. So export that. Okay, now this time round I'm going to make a different cross section, a different shape for the coaster. So if I just scroll down and choose a different pattern, I'm going to use this hexagonal pattern. And again, if we look at the size of this is 40 by 50. So again, we need to scale it up to double the size. Do Control A, apply the scale, and then just change the thickness to whatever thickness we require. And again, export it as a wavefront object. So that one's coaster 3. So again, we'll make another hexagonal one. So just drag and drop onto the workspace. Again, scale it up 2 times. Control A, apply the scale. And again, we'll set the cross section to be 2 by 4. And export it as a wavefront object as coaster 4. Okay, now this time round I'm going to make a square coaster, and I'm going to start off with a rectangular coaster. And if we look at the size of this, you'll see it's 99 by 49. So first of all, I'm going to scale it just in the X direction, 0.5. Do Control A and apply the scale. Now you can see it's about 50 by 50. So if I scale it and do it twice size and do Control A and apply the scale, so there's my 100 millimeter square coaster. And again, I'm just going to do it 2 by 4 and export it as a wavefront object as coaster 5 this time. So again, I'm going to make another square one. So we start off with a rectangular pattern. As you can see, it's not square. We need to do S for scale, limit the scale to the x-axis and type 0.5 and do Control A and apply the scale. S for scale and double it up and Control A and apply the scale. And because this is a parametric smart object, it will be 3D printable without any real problems, and we just need to set the thickness there. And then we just export that as a wavefront object. So that's 6 coasters in about 4 minutes using Fluid Designer for 3D printing. Okay, now what you need to understand is that because these objects are all parametric smart objects which can be 3D printed, you don't just have to limit yourself to making coasters with these Voronoi patterns. You could make this light cover, for example, or you could make a ring, pendant, earrings, or this bracelet, all using similar Voronoi patterns, and you can make them to your own thicknesses and own styles and own designs. Okay, so thank you for watching. Good luck in your own creations.